Well, my name is Derek Elbertse. I am the general sales manager here at OEW, and we carry, actually manufacture and distribute here in the United States and abroad the OE Wheels Replica brand, the Defiant Wheels Aftermarket brand, and the Foreplay Wheels Aftermarket brand.
So these two aftermarket, I'm going to start with this, the two aftermarket brands, that's actually relatively new for you guys, correct?
Correct. Defiant, we launched last year with our first batch of brand new part numbers. That inventory has come in over 2024, and I'm happy to say it's starting to, rapidly go out the door. And Foreplay, which is probably what we're most famous for in the aftermarket, was launched at Sema 2019, so first edition of the inventory on the floor in 2020. And we've been steadily growing that brand, growing our influence in the industry, growing our following for 4 years now. So we're very proud of where we've been able to grow to, but it's definitely been a lot of hard work along the way.
So let me ask you about that transition, because like you said, you started out as an OE wheel replica. It was an aftermarket brand, but you were replicating classic old school wheels that you couldn't get anymore. So now you're getting into the market where you're creating custom designs. How has that transition been for you guys?
We had some fumbles in its very, very infancy. The owner of the company, Lance, is extremely hands-on owner.
Right.
And what his skill set, I think, if you asked him, would be, is putting the right person in the right place.
Okay.
What he did is he basically went out and found somebody who he believed could bring us a design and a brand strategy that where we could be in the wheel industry for 25 years, but beyond the OEM replacement side, and try and break into a very well-established aftermarket, you kind of have to come with a splash.
Yes.
So what he did is he found Jordan Swerdloff from ADV1. He was the founder of ADV1, very cutting-edge multi-piece wheels for the exotic market back when they first came on the scene. He's actually launched a few brands, or a few companies. So all of our designs are done by him. So he's the house designer. We do all of our design in-house. We have an absolute savant of a mechanical engineer who handles all of our engineering and then the sourcing of the product. So we work with, I believe it's up to 15 different facilities now in over 6 different countries, maybe 5 different countries. And our engineer handles all of those technical aspects. So one thing that a lot of people might not recognize about the Foreplay brand, when you look at it, you see another 22 by 12 lifted truck wheel. Every step of the manufacturing process, I can tell you with full confidence that we do better than the competition. We use a better casting method. We use a fully automated facility. Every single wheel, it goes down like a kind of a conveyor system throughout the factory. It's not being hand loaded. It goes through a whole battery of tests. The main ones are, it gets x-rayed, so there's no porosity or air bubbles in the casting. It gets a helium leak testing. So leaking wheels is kind of a thing that some of the old school people might remember from the 70s.
You put a tire on and suddenly it's starting to deflate more and more.
You're checking the valves. Get the soap and water out. So every single wheel gets tested. And then we do lateral, radial run out, and a few other tests. What we do with the lateral and radial run out is we actually take the test results and we put them on a tag and we put them on every single wheel in the box. So the customer, when they break that box open, they know if you buy you're buying a Foreplay wheel, you're not getting an out around wheel. So it's good to go. And then on the finishing side, what's really important, right? The looks of the wheel. So we got great styling, great quality, and then the finishing is really where a lot of the customer experience is. A lot of people have issues with salt corrosion or fading, scratching. So we use all of our powder coats materials, our upgraded materials. They're more difficult to use in manufacturing, but we go through the extra labor and expense to use them. What it yields is if you take our clear coat, for example, it is more UV fade resistant than all the competition. It's more scratch resistant, and it's more salt corrosion resistant. So better user experience for anyone who decides to go and purchase a set of Foreplay wheels.
So right now you're concentrating mostly on cast wheels, correct?
Correct. We used to do multi-piece forged wheels. However, we realized that our value is providing great products backed by great service. And the production lead times on the forged products broke that promise. So we've focused on our strengths and have gone all in on having a product on the shelf for every single customer type who may come our way.
Right.
So,
do you foresee a future for your brands to go to a forged wheel eventually? If you think the process gets better?
We always, we sometimes we'll look in the rear view and go, well, we've learned quite a bit in the last year or two. Maybe we retry it and apply what we've learned. As of right now, no, we have such aggressive growth plans for our distribution, both on our retail side, so direct to consumer, and on our B2B side, and as well as Defiant we just launched last year, so our plates are pretty full.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that, because like you said, trying to start a new forging line is quite difficult. But let me go back to your old school bread and butter brand, OE Wheel.
Yep.
Now, a lot of people are probably going to be familiar with the fact that most OEs are really stringent on copyright and making sure that their IP has not been stolen.
Correct.
So how are you guys creating these replica wheels that's not only legal, but to where the OEs don't really get offended that you're making a replica wheel?
Absolutely. So we actually have a great relationship with our lawyers.
Okay.
And they're intellectual property lawyers.
Yes.
They like us a lot. I guess it's for the billable hours.
Right.
But what they do is they have been with us for a very long time.
Right.
And we've certainly have learned a lot, or I'll say Lance has learned a lot over the last 25 years or so of being in that side of the industry. We know absolutely where the line in the sand is, and we don't get anywhere near it. So we won't replicate anything or build any OEM replacement wheel that has intellectual property protection.
Got it.
In fact, sometimes we actually work with manufacturers who have these, domestic OEM manufacturing contracts.
Yes.
So that allows us to essentially verify that this product is built to all the same quality standards from the same manufacturer.
Right.
And, at competitive price points.
Okay. So when it comes down to actually engineering these replica wheels, are you guys actually doing a whole new mold, or are you guys?
Yes.
Okay. So you're not, I know a lot of cheaper companies, I'll just say, will actually buy old molds from not only aftermarket wheel makers, but even OEMs at some points to recreate a wheel.
If anyone is in the industry, I'm sure you've probably gotten messages on LinkedIn from overseas manufacturers reps, and what they do is they send you their mold list, and lo and behold, there's quite a few, OEM designs in there. So they're actually looking at, okay, well, so-and-so came out with this, let's go make a mold, and then go find a buyer.
Right.
So we have very long relationships with our manufacturers, and what we do is we are the largest independent distributor of replica wheels. We have the largest portfolio of replica wheels, and we have the most replica inventory. And so we pride ourselves on having the best pricing, but also the most up-to-date offering. So we're always looking at what's new, what is available for us to get into that market. And then what that really leads to is we have a lot of industry relationships where we help supply kind of the non-glamorous side of the wheel industry with these components that people just need, and they need them for affordable prices. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about why you guys wanted to get into the aftermarket. Obviously, there's a lucrative market in the aftermarket, but being that you're an OE replica wheel, that had to have been a very successful business. What led to eventually coming up with the two aftermarket brands you have now?
It allowed us to kind of flex our engineering and creativity might. Allowed us to get into some spaces, maybe some fitments, and kind of do the cool stuff.
Yeah.
Right? But if you look at Defiant, what you'll see, it's a natural progression of replica. We're very respectful of intellectual property, and what we're noticing is like sometimes the factory designs aren't that good.
Right.
But a replica wheel has an ease of sale that helps facilitate, helping a customer make the purchase without a whole bunch of headache. It's a long road to purchase a set of 24 by 12s. You have to make that decision as an enthusiast that I'm lifting my truck. I got to source, suspension components, fender flare components, steps, because now you can't get in it, tires, and how much of my body and bumper am I cutting off?
Right.
The replica wheels, due to them being an exact OEM replacement, there's no questions asked. Man.
It just bolts on.
Bolts on and go, right?
Right.
What tire size? Stock tire size.
Yep.
So Defiant is going to take all of those components. So we pick a vehicle and we build a wheel around it. So if I target a Ram 1500, I'm going to build a wheel that looks like it belongs
on a Ram 1500. Gotcha.
Guess what? Bolts right on.
Yep.
Use your factory hardware. Your factory center cap will go in place, or you can run our Defiant center cap. You have the option. It's hub centric. You can run the stock tire size, maybe go up to the next size up.
Right, you can plus one it.
There you go, man. So that's the strategy behind Defiant, is just to make it easy for our industry partners, but more importantly, make it easy for the customer. It's just good looking wheels that fit.
All right. So where can people find OE Wheel and the 4Plan Defiant right now if they want to not only purchase it, but maybe even look, see if they have a wheel that they want?
Of course. So we have our main site, which is oewheelsllc.com. And then the aftermarket brands do have their own sites.
Okay.
Defiant Wheel, no S.com. And then the number 4, play wheels with an S.com. However, all of the products are on the original oewheelsllc.com site.
Perfect.
So everything is there.
Okay.